This, an easy weeknight meal. You'll enjoy making this one, and it's good. Hey, how's it going? This is a continuation of our easy weeknight meals. Now the sun's still up, so we're heading into that time, but not quite there yet. I wanted to show you one of my favorite recipes. This is tacos. Plain and simple. You know, you get home at night, you don't want to do a whole lot of work, but you'd like something fresh to eat. So the reason I'm doing these videos, to show you can have some really cool stuff, and it's not that hard. Now doing tacos is one of the easiest ones of all. It takes ground meat, some lettuce, ground cheese, grated cheese I should say, taco shells, whether they be the crispy ones like this or the soft ones, just soft corn tortillas or flour tortillas. They all work fine. Pick out which one you want to use and go with it. I'm going to use the crispy ones, and we're going to toast them in the oven before we use them. Just give them that extra life. And I'll show you how to keep them from going flat while you put them in the oven, all right? It's not hard. Got the right spices here, and everything's ready to go. So let's get busy making this thing. Before I get started, I want to show you something. It's going to be a quick video on the ground meat, and it doesn't take that long. I would like to ask, please take a look in the description box at some point. I've got a lot of links there. There's links to my store, also to my Wisio account and to my Patreon account. So if you want to help me out, you can do that through Patreon. You can do it through Wisio. I'll make a special video for you there if you want. And you've got a lot of options there. So it's a really cool platform. For this though, let's get on, take a quick look at our hamburger meat here, and then we're going to have some fun putting these together. All right, I wanted to do this video insert. Normally I wouldn't have done this on this type of video, but you know, hey, I figure it's kind of cool to see where the ground meat comes from, you know, if a person grinds their own. And also wanted to mention, if you're grinding your own meat, you don't necessarily have to do it with each and every recipe. You can grind a whole bunch of it, have plenty left over, keep it in the freezer, and use it when the moment comes, okay? And that's what I'm going to do. I have a simple chuck roast here, nothing fancy. I'm going to grind it up, and it's partially frozen, not completely. It still has a little bit of flexibility, but it's still firm. That makes doing this a lot easier. Cutting it up faster, grinding it is faster, all of that. A choice chuck that's Black Angus. It makes for some of the best hamburger you'll ever put in your mouth. Juicy, delicious, and not something you can just buy at any old store. It's something you got to make. When grinding, we just slice it up and grind it up. There you go. And it doesn't take that long. As you can see, you just feed it right on in there and it goes right at it. So as I come to the end of this grind, I would like to mention, please take a look at my website. That's S.A.Trotter.com. I'm running a sale until the 2nd of January of 2022. It's 20% off. Use the code SALE20 for a discount, and you'll save 20% on all of your purchase, not including the digital files. So please take a look at that. Got new aprons that are out. New aprons for Texas Cooking Today are out. New shirts and ball cap and the whole bit. So take a look at that. There's some really neat stuff there. Oh, links right down below in the description box. I got some really good ground meat. Can't wait to turn that into some tacos. Oh yeah. Something I would like to mention as I'm pulling out my portions for this. When you're making portions for your ground meat and you want to freeze it by the portion, that's what I like to do. I'll first make a little ball. It's usually about the size of a racquetball or slightly larger. The size of a baseball's on the big side. But that makes a good portion right there of meat. And generally you're looking at, you know, depending on the size of ball you make, let me make a bigger one here. You're looking at anywhere from 6 to 8 ounces usually. So right there, I've got about a 6 ounce and I got about an 8 ounce. And I bet if we put it on the scale, you'd get just about exactly that. I'll press these flat into patties. The ones that I don't use right now, the amount that I don't use right now, I'm going to end up freezing. So I freeze those patties. And the reason I do patties, they're faster and easier to thaw, okay? Hey, wasn't that cool? That's not so hard to do, and you really get some fresh stuff. Also, cheese. You gotta have cheese on your taco, right? I usually keep some grated, just sitting around. I'll usually grate up about a pound or so at a time, and then what I don't use in the meal I'm working on at that moment, I just put in the fridge and I have it handy. So there it is. I got my lettuce here. I'm going to take that and cut it up just the right way, and I'll show you that in just a second. And then taco shells. These little guys. Oh, I love crispy taco shells. You know, when it comes to doing, tacos, there's a lot of different ways of doing things, but sometimes simplicity can be a real wonderful thing. So these little things are better tasting, I believe, if you toast them in the oven before you use them. But there is one trick. You know, if you go and lay these things just like I've laid them out here on your baking sheet, by the time you open the oven door, they've closed up and they're not open anymore. Well, that's a real pain, all right? So do yourself a favor and just set them up on their open end, just like that, when you put them on the baking sheet, all right? When you do it like this, those suckers will keep their shape. As you toast them, pull them out, you're ready to go. Just that simple. All right, so know that little trick. Let's get into cooking up the meat next. Let me introduce my seasonings to you real quick. I want to use some oregano, some paprika, cumin, salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. Now this 6 spices make the most fantastic tasting tacos. It's just perfect. And once you've tasted it done this way, you'll be like, okay, yeah, he's right. This is the seasoning. And this is very common, okay? This is not an unusual taco season. This is a very common one. Taco meat doesn't take a lot of cooking or long cooking. You only have to cook the meat until it's done, okay? And then these, you only have to heat them until they're hot. What takes the longest time is cutting the lettuce, and that doesn't take any time at all. All right. Get that thing preheated so we can do our taco shells. All right, I've got the taco shells there. The oven is heating. I need to preheat my pan. So I'll get a flame under there, and I'm going to heat that on a medium-high setting, and I'll cook it at about the same setting, all right? So while that's heating, usually I'll break out other stuff, get into my lettuce and things like that. And that way I've got everything set up. And this doesn't take a whole lot of time to do. I like to use these romaine heads, these little, what they call a romaine heart. They cut up really easy and they make a perfect lettuce for a taco. Keep an eye on your pan when it gets up to the right temperature, a good searing temperature. Then go ahead and start getting your meat in there. I'll start with oil, get the meat, and then the spices right on top. All right, and with this, it is just as simple as really thin cuts. There we go. That wasn't that hard, was it? There it is. I want to mix that up. Okay, and that way it's good, even, well dispersed lettuce. Perfect. That water sizzled off way too quick. The pan is not hot enough. Let's test that again. All right, now I'm getting a condition. You see how that water's rolling around in there now? It's not instantly sizzling off. That means that pan is good and hot. I'm getting a vapor barrier in between the water droplets and the pan itself. And that's when we know we've got the right temperature. Always run a rag through there when you've done that before you put oil in it. You're just doing yourself a big old favor when you do that. I might have been a little heavy on my oil, but that won't be a problem. The reason I say that is there's a lot of fat in this meat. So let me show you here. This is not that hard. I've got 2 servings worth of meat here, and I went light on that salt, somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon. Cumin, a gentle light dusting. You see that? It doesn't take a lot of it. Cumin will quickly overwhelm a dish. So will this. This is oregano. This is specifically Mexican oregano, okay? It's from Mexico. It's their flavor. It's the same plant that grows in the Mediterranean, but a little more pungent. Paprika, feel free to use as much of it as you like, but I just like a nice even coating across the top, as you see. The onion powder on that one, moderate amount. And then the garlic powder, again, light, don't go too heavy. All right, from there, I want to mix those spices into the meat. All right, now this meat will not take long to cook, and we've just heard the oven beep, which means it's preheated. It's come up in temperature. Let's get these taco shells in there. Alrighty, taco shells. Now if you got taco shells that lean a little bit, put the 2 that are leaning against each other. They prop each other up. It's experience right there. All right, the meat's coming along and it's about 90% cooked. It looks really good too. I'll say that right now. And here's the thing is, you don't have to cook this meat for eternity, okay? It's already done when it's done, okay? You don't want to cook it too long because it'll dry it out. You don't need anything else added other than just the spices and what we put in here. Meat, spices, that's taco meat. Don't make it too fancy. The taco shells that are in the oven, I'm going to let those continue to cook for about another 4 minutes. I'm just setting my timer here. It'll do a count up for me. And as soon as they're out of the oven, I'm making tacos. I want to drop the heat to my pan and just let it sit there. This will hold heat for a little while because of that hot base. I've got my lettuce ready to go. My cheese is ready, and I like some hot sauce with mine. I've got a Chipotle hot sauce there. I've got a regular hot sauce. They're both delicious. I'm not going to advocate brands, but I want to tell you that's one of the best ones I've ever tasted. And no, I'm not sponsored. Boy, I wish they would. I would love for that company to sponsor me. But unfortunately, I'm not sponsored. I make money on the viewership. And to my viewers, thank you very much. Come on, taco shells. Let's go. Okay, I believe we've passed 4 minutes. We've been in there for about 5 or 6 minutes. And we have a nice aroma coming from it. And a little bit of brown just started. See there? And that's just perfect. You don't have to do that, but I'll tell you what, they really perk up and pop when you do that. That's such good flavor. So, that didn't take us very long, did it? Now, ooh, those are warm. A little meat in the bottom. And that's how I do them right there, folks. Just that simple. Don't make this too difficult. Now, how much meat? I guess that depends on you, doesn't it? All right, here's one of those that was a little lopsided. See, they came out just fine too. All right. I fill mine about halfway full, and then I put my lettuce and cheese over the top. And folks, I don't use cheese as a garnish, all right? I use it as a prime ingredient, all right? All right, let's go ahead and get the rest of our stuff. Now, something I'll do if I'm going to fix these up for myself, I'll put a little bit of lettuce, just a small amount right there. It just kind of keeps things propped up. Isn't that neat? Now, put lettuce in each one of my shells. Don't make it hard, okay? The KISS method really works on this, and it works well. Right there. All right, cheese time. There we go. And there you have not only a great dish, but a beautiful presentation. Okay? There we go. I think possibly one of nature's most perfect foods. Oh yeah. That is it right there. I'm going to be enjoying these so much. One of my favorite dishes. It's such a simple dish. Folks, simple, easy to make. You can do it with all kinds of different meats. Give it a try. It's not hard. Oh, and please do me a favor. In the description box again, check out those links, my website, my products. I've got aprons out now for Texas Cooking Today, shirts, in addition to my recipes, and there's also some whole nother catalog. So take a look at that website and see what all is there. Cool stuff. And enjoy your tacos.